Of all the tools created by man, few are more powerful than fire, and none is more dramatic. Meet the men who harness the fire in drag racing. 7-time NHRA Funny Car Champion and the fastest man in the sport, John Force. His teammate and arch rival from a trio of racing brothers, Tony Pedregon. The home state favorite with the quickest reaction times in the class, Dean Scusa. And a man living a dream, from fan to race-winning driver with Bazemore. This is your invitation to a special night of drag racing. Call it a night under fire.
Of course, this four-door medallion on the terror souvenirs throughout the
So you can see all the
Super Stock car number 187 is a blue Camaro. You are parked in the motorcycle pits. Bring them all down because in just about 1 minute we are going to start spending our money to come to watch. We want you to be part of our program, folks. And we would like to take this opportunity. If you have a late model pickup truck and you have a license plate that says KAPHI Captain 97, and for all the work that she does for the next generation of kids who are going to run our country and educate our kids, daycare center, we would like to thank that woman and recognize her and all of her contributions to not only all the time for pro races. We want to remind you that we are going to switch to it.
Ted Jones spoke to John Force.
Making 2 runs here tonight. Who we got first round?
I'm going to be taking on my teammate in the Syntec Mustang, Tony Pedregon.
All right, and he could beat you.
He has before.
Okay. And then second round?
Well, they're going to make the decision between the two pair that are running, Bazemore and Scusa, and then I don't know how they're going to pair them by wins or by low ETs or what, but we'll come back and race the other in the final.
Who would you rather have in the final?
Oh, doesn't matter. They're both good guys. Just try to beat them. That's all that matters.
How about a prediction for tonight? You've seen the track. You've got one lane with a lot of oil in it.
They said they had some major oil downs in the right lane. We'll have to toss for it for lane choice, and then we'll see. But, that's the real trick. That's why these crew chiefs make the money they make. The idea is how to adapt to the track. If it's real good, you can be real gorilla and run big numbers. And if not, you just got to out-trick the racetrack. And if you do that, you go home with a win trophy.
What's this track got in it if you can get everything set right?
Well, I believe that if conditions are right, it cools down. There's no reason you can't run an O here. You can't run in the 4s. But, once she spins the tire, it's just a matter of keeping her in the lane, getting to the other end. So I never make predictions. Every time I try it, I just look stupid. So I better just let my car do the talking for itself.
All right, we'll see you in top end. Don't be running off the end of the track now.
Well, I don't do that. Thank you. Well, actually, what's the
sound of a Nitro 20 car coming to life. Well, folks, hang on, because this thing's going to come to life in that water box, and then you're going to see something. To move the pages down on our Norwalk starting line. He's losing his shoes! He's losing his panties!
Oh my God.
We have a winner! And it's RuPaul! A close the morning with Danny Darley. A round of applause for Tony Lane! This man is king. I want you to make some noise for your Ohio Land Speed record holder, Billy Matteo! Folks, he can make anything. I want you to take a look at a jet-powered quad with good old American ingenuity. How about a round of applause for the Green Monster? It's a brand new car and it's a Chevrolet. Put it together for Whit Baseball. For you Mopar fans, Team Dodge, this is Cleveland, Ohio's Dean Scusa. We've got a Chevy, we've got a Mopar, and we've got Fords, baby. Oh yeah, we've got Fords. In the Castrol Syntec entry, here he is, Tony Pedregal. He was here last year, I believe, for the first time. A true rich racing family. Tony Pedregal, welcome to Norwalk Raceway. Oh, appreciate the Bader family having us back. Of all the match races that we run, this is my favorite because of the facility and especially the way you guys promote it. You do it right because there's more people than I've seen at even at a lot of national events. So I think the quality of drivers and the cars that you have out here is something that excites us as a driver, not just to race John, because you know, after a while, he whips on you a few times, you just get kind of tired of it, but I'm glad to have Scusa here in Bazemore, and I'm hoping to get a shot at one of those guys. That's really what I'd like. Yeah, but Tony, you've been whipping on the boss, too, a little bit. Well, I owe him a few. He's Bazemore, but really it's for us, it's a good time. It enables us to come out here and test, and try to test the track to see what kind of times we can run, try to run over 300, and you have 4 good cars that are going to take a shot at, so hopefully we'll be one of them. Tony, did your mom make any boys that do anything else other than go fast in race cars? No, we're just hoping. I've got 2 sisters. We're hoping they don't want to get in and kick us out. Well, Tony, I'll tell you what, we're excited to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, how about a round of applause for Tony Pedregal? Busy month, my friend. Well, yeah, we've been winning, we've been losing, me and Pedregal, but makes it really exciting. But we're really happy to be back here in Norwalk. Great crowd. Come out here to see Bazemore and Scusa and Pedregal and myself. We're gonna have some fun tonight. John, I'll tell you what, you've been on top and you've done a remarkable thing. You've managed to stay on top. Is it getting harder? Is the pressure more than it was a year ago or 2 years ago? Well, it is, but we got good backing from Castrol and Ford, and
Matt Toole, all-pro bumper to bumper, and I got a great teammate, Tony Petragon. Competition's getting a lot tougher, but we keep teaming up, staying together. Naturally, you know, Austin Coyle heads this team, and Bernie Federley and John Medlin, they make these old hot rods rock and roll. So, wasn't for them, I'd still be back where I started 25 years ago. But when I see crowds like this, I heard on NHRA today I was retiring in 2 years. I can tell you all that's a bunch of shit. Spoken like a true professional. Well, all I can say is we really love what we do. We're going to get some good shows, but let's talk about, you know, I've been talking about a third team down the road, another funny car, maybe a Thunderbird down the road, and also we've been talking about maybe a top fuel car. It's coming in the future. I've been trying to negotiate this with a young man that's sitting in my hot rod right now, and I don't know how good I'm doing. Let's find out here. Well, folks, I want to direct your attention because he's going to be popping out here shortly. He is the shortstop for the Cleveland Indians. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give a Norwalk Raceway Park welcome to Mr. Omar Vizquel.
There's an unexpected surprise.
Welcome to Norwalk Raceway.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to enjoy with the fans. Let's go Drive 98.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I know. Listen, I'll tell you what, John would agree to stand in the batter's box when a guy's throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at you. That can be a little nerve-wracking. What did it feel like sitting in that car?
Well, I'll tell you what, it feels like you're hitting a Muller Ryan fastball. I mean, it's really intimidating. That thing looks like a bullet. We hope we can get it going today.
Okay. What do you think? You want to stand in the batter's box and take some fastballs? I just let Coyle throw them 300-mile-an-hour pistons at me, but I'll tell you what, we get a little support from this young gentleman here. You ought to see the muscles on this guy up close. It's unbelievable. But we like to put him on these hot rods. We know he can afford one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, how about a round of applause? John Morse! Omar Vizquel! Hey, Jack Force. Jack Force, if you can hear me, how about if we put you in a top fuel dragster and let you go IHRA right racing? How'd you like to do that? Well, I knew the old man in service. Where the hell are you? I'm way up here in the tower trying to get my music cues right, John. Well, I'm really happy you have me back. You know, I love to race here, and so does this team. But, I know that dragster, they say it's coming sooner or later. We'll see. Well, John, you know I have a tremendous respect for you and what you've done with your life, your family, and for the sport of drag racing. And I just know the fans feel that same way. And I hope in some small way we can play a little part in helping make that better for everybody. So if you ever get a mind to come over to the IHRA, you know we'll welcome you with open arms. I just want to tell you that I always thought that you're probably the only one as crazy as me. And when I took on 2 race cars and stressed myself out, but when you took on IHRA, my hat's off to you, boss. John, I respect you and thank you very, very much. All right, Billy, I didn't mean to step on your parade down there, but John and I are kind of the old timers, and we kind of have something going between us. You understand, right? Absolutely. We got a couple big old trucks. One is a 3-engine jet Peterbilt, and one is the King of Quake. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shockwave, driven by Ken Shockley, and the King of Quake, Mr. Bob Moats. Two rounds, these two. There will be an ET and mile-an-hour competition to determine the fastest, and there will be what we're going to call a free-for-all fire show. And we're going to let you decide. Take a look. Man who is legendary in these parts. He's got the biggest grandstand in racing. Norwalk, I want you on your feet to welcome the king.
Welcome back to Norwalk Raceway Park and the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire. I'm Bob Varsha along with Ted Jones and Brett Kepner, who will be along shortly. The idea behind this kind of event, Ted, is part match racing and part showtime.
We told you you'd see some things you normally don't see here on the Deuce in drag racing coverage, and that's exactly what went on. They do a big pre-race ceremony here at NRP before this Night Under Fire. Then they bring all of the stars out, the stars of the show. There's one of the Jet dragsters, Dennis Roslansky. They had a wedding going on at the base of the VIP tower simultaneous to this pre-race ceremony.
You like drag racing? How about a literal race in drag? Something for everybody here at Norwalk Raceway Park, including all-star shortstop Omar Vizquel of the Cleveland Indians on hand to show his support of drag racing. There are our 4 Nitro Funny Car drivers, Bazemore, Force, Scusa, and Pedregon, who took part along with every other competitor in this afternoon and evening of racing. In a special salute to the fans who can come out, have their pictures taken, get an autograph from one of the top stars of the sport. Somewhere down there is Brett Kepner. And he's been here often enough to know that even with John Force on hand, the most popular driver is a Buckeye State favorite. Here's Brett.
I don't think if you had asked him 10 years ago that Dean Scusi himself would have ever believed that his life would have come to this. A booked-in professional superstar in the world of drag racing, sitting in front of hundreds of adoring fans, signing autographs till his hands get sore. Let's face it, from your roots in southeastern Ohio, this is a big, big change.
It really is. I don't know if I'm ready for it or not. I mean, sometimes I had to pinch myself being out here with the likes of John Force, Tony, and Witt here. But yeah, this is great. I mean, we're about 50 miles from my house. I can sleep in my own bed tonight and get to see all the guys I started with here. It's awful exciting.
Now, looking back at, let's say, your teenage years, I know you were already a drag race fan. Everybody has fantasies at that point. What were your racing fantasies at that age?
Well, they're probably like a lot of most, people my age. I mean, it was more of a pipe dream type philosophy. It's like, boy, I sure would like to drive a funny car. I always thought they were way cool, but that's just like saying I'd like to pitch for the Indians, I mean, how realistic is the goal? So that's why I say I got to pinch myself every now and then.
You managed to achieve what you've got pretty much through your own efforts. I mean, you ran without sponsorship for so long it wasn't even funny. You had a small core of people that helped you even back in your fuel-altered days that just haven't left.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of local companies here that helped us along the way, Matco being one of them. They really didn't have a racing budget at that point, but they were able to give us what they could, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I'm just lucky to have a father that enjoys it as much as I do and had the wherewithal to get started. So I'm a lucky guy.
Well, while your dad was the guiding force, let's face it, you proved your driving ability in those supercharged alters on some pretty nasty tracks around this part of the country. But even then, you couldn't have believed that it would have gone to this.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hobby, like I say, and I always had the dream of doing it professionally, but really no realistic goals of doing it. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, the more we talk about it, the more awestruck I get.
Well, Dean Scusa is a man who took his first trip down the quarter mile at age 15. He's been doing it for some 16 years. Now over on the drag strip, here is a wild contraption, a top fuel bike ridden by national champion Tony Lang.
Lang has gone as quick as 6:08, 237 on this Suzuki 1400 cc's. Look at Tony Lang, 654, 216 miles per hour, lying on his stomach, Bob.
I'm interested to know what kind of number you were anticipating on that. Out comes the tooth guard there.
We were hoping to run in the 620s, around 220, but I don't think I quite ran that quick.
6.54 seconds, 215 miles an hour, though, big top end. What do you think the aerodynamics were worth on that?
I think it worked. I mean, I think we stuck to the track pretty good. It felt like we drove through the clutch in the middle, but we sort of sat on the line a little while. I think they had a problem with the Christmas tree, but we'll take it anywhere we can get it.
Look at this man's face, ladies and gentlemen. 654 at 215. Looks like he just got back from dinner.
Bob, it looks like he borrowed the design for his suit from Arnie the Farmer Beswick.
Those famous tiger stripes. Now, this is called a pit area, frankly. It's a state-of-the-art compound for two of the fastest vehicles in the world, the Castrol Syntec funny cars of John Force and the men Brett Kepner is with now, Tony Pedregon.
Tony, in a match race format, are you in a position where you're forced to pretty much do testing for national events, or can you actually go out there with a proven combination and just make runs?
Well, it really gives us the opportunity to test parts, and we're at the point of our season where we're really not trying a lot of different things, maybe a little bit with our motor combination, but really I think where we benefit from doing a match race like this is these conditions are real similar to what we race in, and especially during the summer and running a lot of these tracks here in this area with Columbus and Chicago and St. Louis coming up, that it really gives us the opportunity to maybe refine our combination a little bit. So it's really a benefit to myself as a driver and especially for us as a team.
And therefore, obviously, the pressure is still on you as a driver just because people are paying to see the driver.
Well, it always is. Sometimes you tend mentally to want to lay back at a match race, but I've done a few of these here, and it all changes, because once you put that suit on and put the helmet on, it's all the same. I think you have to, at that point, rely on a lot of your instinct, and I think you put yourself in a zone to where mentally you're trying to treat them all the same, especially when you have guys out here like John, Bazemore, and Scusa, and these are top 5-6 cars here that we are competing against. So I could say that, well, this is a little more laid back than a big national event, but it really isn't, because when I get inside the car, I want to do the same thing. I just want to get to the other end before they do.
In a moment, we'll be back with more from Norwalk Raceway Park, beginning our shootout of the Nitro Funny Car. Stay with us. Welcome back to Norwalk, Ohio, and the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire. I'm Bob Varsha. The buzz is going through the crowd. It is showtime for Nitro Funny Cars. Here's Ted Jones.
Bob, this is near the big moment. We're down in the staging lanes here at Norwalk Raceway Park. This is what the fans came to see, the Nitro Funny Cars. These things put out about 6,000 horsepower, burning nitromethane, a non-petroleum derivative. They're supercharged, and John Force, the fastest man in the world, who is 7-time NHRA world champion, proudly wearing the #1 on his Castrol-sponsored car, went 323 miles an hour recently in Englishtown, New Jersey. Now, all the fans are wondering, will he win the match race here tonight? But more importantly, how fast can he go? And how did he ever go quicker than a top fuel dragster in the first place? Well, that's exactly what we asked him. Let's talk about 323 mile an hour. How's a funny car do that? Top fueler can't do it.
Well, just got a real good crew, got good money from Castrol and Mac Tool, All Pro. A lot of people put a lot of money in here, and we bought the technology and got Austin Coyle naturally, Bernie Federley, John Medlin, and Tony's team. It gave us a double shot, and we did it. Dragster guys didn't like it, but that's too bad.
Where's it going to stop? How quick can you go before you retire?
Well, first of all, I don't plan on retiring because I want to keep eating. So bottom line is, they did that years ago with Garlits. How quick can you run? And every time somebody puts a limit on it, somebody runs faster or quicker. So who knows? We just keep, pushing it, and that's why we race, to see how fast we can go and how quick. So they put an end to that, might as well quit.
John Force with a spectacular run, ups his speed record, 484, 323.89 miles an hour. And unless something sensational happens in the Fuel Dragster final, the Fuel Funny Car speed record is going to be higher in the Dragsters for the first time in history. John Force continues his streak. He has now won at least one race every year since 1987. Bettered only by Warren Johnson, who's won since '82. Great performance, flawless, vintage Team Castrol, Ford, Austin Coyle, Bernie Federley, the Fishman, and the rest of that team. Look at that. Look at the speed. They finally see it. 323.89 miles an hour. 484. That car is unreal here this weekend. And the top fuel guys, well, actually, Joe Amato with a chance to set the speed record in the fuel dragster category. Let's get down to the starting line. I'll bet you it is wild down there, David.
Oh, it certainly is. Crowd is going nuts. Team's going nuts. And I'm with the new merchant of speed, Austin. Where's all this coming from? Great day.
Well, we've been really working hard on our motor. Wes Cerny and Cruz Pedregon, some of the other guys, Ronnie Capps, are pushing us really hard. We found a little horsepower, and it's nice to have it.
I guess so. Let's go down to the far end. Happy driver, Steve Evans.
Happy driver, John. You just reset the speed record faster than the dragsters.
Come in here in the Mopars and run with our Ford Mustang. I mean, it's exciting for Castro, but I tell you what, all these races are great and all these brands are great. And we're excited. Mono called me queen for a day. Well, maybe for a few more minutes. He ain't run yet, but I'm excited. That's a big deal.
Who's the queen now?
Well, I ain't saying that. I might be the queen again here in a few minutes, but I'm excited. And I just love all my sponsors, All Pro Visteon, all of you, Mac. We've done a great job. Framwell, I love you guys. Big speed, big coil.
Let's get up the racetrack. Top fuel's coming.
Oh, that's why we race, to see how fast we can go and how quick. So they put an end to that. Might as well quit.
Well, you can bet there'll be no quitting in the very near future. There you see Dean Scusa's crew bringing that 6,000 horsepower nitromethane burning engine to life as we get set for our first round in our match race showdown in Nitro Funny Cars. And of course, Ted, the most exciting thing as you look at Whit Basemore's car about Nitro Funny Cars is the burnout.
Without question, that's very much a part of the show and also very necessary because they have to get those tires heated up. That's the way a drag slick works. Also, it puts heat into the track and lays down a thin coat of rubber that hopefully these cars can hook up to. Now, unlike top fuel dragsters, they're running a very short wheelbase. And bear in mind, Whit Bazemore with his Chevy Camaro and Dean Scusa with the Dodge Avenger have the engines out in front of them. They're literally like two hand grenades out there, Bob.
Say that the burnouts are the most exciting part. That, of course, ignores the fact that these guys run well under 5 seconds and well over 310 miles an hour. You look at that beautiful paint job on the Winston-sponsored car of Whit Bazemore. He's an interesting story, Ted.
Whit Bazemore, I really wonder if he didn't do better as a professional photographer. Although this past year he's done very well on the Winston NHRA Tour, Bazemore was one of the most talented color photographers in drag racing, formerly worked for his sponsor, Winston.
Decided he wanted to be a racer. Got himself involved, and here he is now, challenging for race wins up and down the NHRA trail.
Dean Scusa first did well with a runner-up finish in 1994 and was a bridesmaid all the way up until 1997. He had a runner-up in 95 and also in 97 at the Outskill Nationals.
Now, we're glad to have you watching here on ESPN2, but if you really want to live the excitement of drag racing personally, you have to get to a racetrack to watch a nitromethane-burning 6,000 horsepower funny car or top fuel dragster in person. It is absolute sensory overload. The sound, the smell. Here we go.
This is a very important race for Whit Bazemore. This is a new car to Whit, and so it's almost like shakedown runs.
Chevy Camaro on the right, Dodge Avenger bodywork on the left. Slide advantage for Scusa off the line, but he gets way sideways. Mechanical problems, it appears, for Bazemore, but he will win.
Bazemore lifted, slowed down, I say slowed down, to 246 miles per hour. Remember, he's capable of going 300, but Dean Scusa was literally sideways off the starting line before he lifted. We have to look at that again.
Watch the left lane as the Buckeye State favorite gets a wilder ride than he ever dreamed of.
Right here, Bob, you see Dean Scusa's literally aimed toward Whit Bazemore. If he hadn't lifted, he may have T-boned Bazemore right there.
Wow. Spinning the tires all the way down is Bazemore. Let's go to Brett Kepner.
Well, I'll tell you, for the first full quarter-mile run ever on this car, you did some work, and it still went 5:32 on that run.
5:32, yeah. You know, Brett, the track's really tricky here tonight, and it's a brand-new Winston Camaro, brand-new chassis built by Murph McKinney, and the boys have been thrashing. I think they were working till 2 o'clock last night in our shop in Indianapolis, but yeah, it's a good pass. It's a starting point. We would have liked to run better. We had to back it down, and we knew we'd be smoking the tires down here. And it's just a matter of me getting used to how this car handles, because it is a lot different from our other cars.
Sure would be neat to win this thing with this car having never made a lap beforehand.
Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. But, you know, there are 3 other excellent cars here, Scusa and then John and Tony. And, you know, Chevy versus Ford, that's what we're doing here.
That's right, and the Mopar's down one.
Yep.
Well, now it's time for the irresistible force beating the immovable object. His teammates, and earlier you heard Tony Pedregon say this may be a match race, but to me it's just another race weekend. I've got to beat the other guy down to the end of the track.
You can see Austin Coyle, the crew chief, one of two crew chiefs for John Force right there, very meticulously giving a last-minute checkout of that engine. His opponent will be his teammate, Tony Pedregon, who incidentally was hired by John Force just a couple of years ago to do some experimenting with their experimental R&D car. He liked the job Tony did so well, put him on the payroll, set him in a second effort. The rest is history, as they say.
And as John Force said earlier, Tony can beat me and has done it before. One of three racing brothers. Tony Pedregon will be in a Ford Mustang. John Medlin turning the wrenches. Austin Coyle does the same for John Force, the 7-time national champion, the holder of the fastest quarter-mile run in drag racing history.
And to think John Force started out driving funny cars back in 1978 on the IHRA trail, then moved over to NHRA and has done very, very well. Force incidentally took both of these cars over to Mustang when he made news earlier by dropping a long-time affiliation with Pontiac, claims the Fords have a little better aerodynamic advantage.
That's right. It's all about aerodynamics, mechanical grip, downforce. The amount of time put into these cars is unbelievable, both in terms of man hours and hours spent in the wind tunnel perfecting that body shape for optimum ET and top speed. Austin Coyle directs John Force in the white Mustang back over those sticky strips of rubber laid down during the burnout for maximum traction and acceleration.
One more final checkup there by Austin Coyle. They'll make sure everything's ready to go. John Force, the third winningest drag racer in the history of the sport. In case you're curious, that's behind the winningest drag racer, Don Garlits, and the second winningest drag racer, Bob Clinton.
And the three of them run in three different categories. Garlits, of course, a top fuel pioneer. Bob Clinton, a legend in the pro stock ranks. John Force has made his name in the funny cars.
John Force has won more NHRA World Championships in Nitro Funny Car than any racer ever in the history of the sport. Dominated. Still continues to do so.
They are staged. They are launched. Ooh, looks like Pedregon got out on Force.
Let's see if Force can drive around him. Yes, barely down at the top end. John Force, 527, 274 miles per hour. Only about 50 miles an hour off of what he could run.
Well, as he mentioned earlier, they're finding what the drag strip will give them. Yes, Pedregon definitely left on Force, but then watch that car in the right lane at horsepower time.
No smoke from the rear tires, meaning the drag strip could have handled more had they put more clutch in it. Let's go to top end with Brett.
I hear a hiss in there. Did we bother to hit the bottles?
No, that's just some air. She got loose out there about 800 feet. Tony was right out the window. He must have smoked the tires, and then we did right after him. I don't know if she run okay.
527. It was 272, but it looked like it was burning some business at the other end.
Well, it might have been smoking. A lot of tire smoke in the cockpit, too. This old Mustang gets loose, gets up like that, and it's really hard. She kind of wheelbarrows, just trying to control her and get down there and get Mac Tool and the boys a win.
Hey, it's not just a match race, it's a race.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Brett. We'll be back with jet engines. Not one, but three per vehicle. Stand by for Shockwave. Welcome back to the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire at Norwalk Raceway Park. At the far end of the drag strip, you see one of the most amazing vehicles anywhere. Competition or demonstration. Using three jet engines, enough horsepower to raise the Titanic. This is show-stopping Ken Shockley and his truck, Shockwave.
Now, Ken is actually a second-generation drag racer. This whole consortium was started out by his father, Les Shockley, who built this truck and campaigned it before he turned the driving controls over to his son. Look at the stacks on that thing, Bob.
Now, one jet engine on your average pass will burn about 20 gallons of fuel, and you can burn a lot more with this kind of spectacle.
Who would have thought you could take three jet engines, put on one vehicle, and make it work? Well, Les Shockley did it, and you're in for a real treat right here. We actually have a competition going. Promoter extraordinaire Bill Bader Jr., who is now the general manager of Norwalk Raceway Park after his father assumed the presidency of IHRA, tried to get this man, Ken Shockley, to run Bob Moats. We'll see him a little later on. I'll tell you more about that later.
Coming up to speed. Look at the size of that thing.
Ken Shockley, 197 miles per hour, and look at the parachute it takes to stop that truck.
Well, after all, it is a true GMC truck, not a fiberglass replica. Probably the fastest GMC in the world. Imagine sitting 6 feet off the ground going 200 miles an hour, or imagine it coming up in your rearview mirrors on the highway. Let's get to Brett Kepner.
I'm interested to hear, since it's been so long since you ran this thing on a full quarter-mile run, how quick did you think this thing was going to go?
Well, it felt pretty sluggish out there. The air's not real good.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, but in good air, this thing will run over 200. It should run, hopefully tonight, if the air gets better, it'll run 205, 208.
What kind of ET?
It'll run in the 7s, like I say, if the air's good.
7:29 at 197. Officially the quickest jet truck run ET-wise in history.
Yep. She left hard. Like I say, the top end felt a little sluggish, but...
Yeah, because the speed obviously is down for a 720 run.
Yeah. It's
that
down,
is unbelievable.
I thought it looked pretty darn quick. Right now, let's hear from the folks who helped make this evening possible. Ted Jones is with Frank Sandor from Sherwin-Williams.
I have never seen this many Sherwin-Williams drag cars in one place. Who all's here?
Well, you probably never will again because this is a one-time experience. We have Scott Wise and his brother Brian, who are both going to race Sherwin funny cars for the first time at this event, side by side. You have Damian Moore, who has about 4 junior dragsters and his own alcohol funny car Corvette.
Now, wait a minute. How old is Damian Moore?
Damian is 12 years old.
And he has an alcohol funny car.
It's in the wings waiting, but it's here so he can look at it and look real pretty sitting in it. But yes, he does have an alcohol funny car. And we have Brian Games, who drives a ProMod in IHRA.
All right, why the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire?
Well, we feel that it's the best way that we can get to our customers one-on-one. They come in here, we give them special treatment. They can sit down and watch our cars perform, not just in person, but they can watch it on TV after you guys air it.
Well, I can assure you the show is just beginning. In a moment, the other half of the truck axis, Bob Moats. Stay with us. Back at Norwalk, Ohio, notice that sign above the grandstand. Bob Moats, perhaps the most spectacular showman in the sport of drag racing. There is his jet-powered Kenworth truck, and here is one of the key elements of Moats' show, Ted.
It's the fire show. Without question, this guy makes more fire out of not 3 but 1 jet engine. Look at that thing. What a blast. He destroyed the backstop side here at Norwalk Raceway Park. Boy, you can't hardly read while it was up there. Duplicate color, which is the engine paint of Sherwin-Williams, is no longer color, Bob.
Well, I have a whole new appreciation for what goes on the deck of an aircraft carrier during a night launch.
Bob Moats will continue with that fire show. Now watch the stacks right here and look at the torque this jet engine has. He literally rocks the body of that Kenworth truck back and forth. Moats was the original jet truck, and I'll tell you, no one has matched him yet.
A much larger and more powerful jet engine powering the legendary Bob Moats' vehicle. And once again, this is not a carbon fiber, state-of-the-art fiberglass replica. This is a steel-bodied Kenworth truck. That's a lot of mass to get moving.
Look at that thing move around as he crosses the finish line, 190 miles per hour, 8.29 seconds, and Moats begins to slow it down. You can hear the jet engine wind down, and the crowd roars their approval. What a show.
Here's another look at that blast furnace, plywood sign backing up the launch pad, and Moats just torches it. Man, what power.
Bob, I hate to break it to you, but as far as the elapsed time and speed competition are concerned, this one wasn't yours. 8:29 at 190 that time.
Yeah, figured that.
Stumbled a little bit, or just the air that bad for you? Or?
The air's that bad for us.
Now, the second half of this competition is pretty much literally the destruction part of the competition. You just incinerated the entire backboard up there on the starting line on this run. I guess that was preparation.
Well, I was supposed to go do that the second time. I messed up.
You were going to do it the second run?
I guess. I don't know. They didn't tell me.
No, you incinerated everything up there, so I would say that you have a leg up in the second half of this competition.
Well, we can do what we can.
Burn up something.
So Bob Moats is behind on performance, but ahead on destruction. Meanwhile, work continues in the Castrol Syntec Funny Car crew headquarters. Ted Jones is there.
This is the Castrol Technology Center, the latest trick in state-of-the-art nitro funny car drag racing. It belongs to the 7-time NHRA World Champion John Force and his teammate Tony Pedregon, who's pitted right over here. Force is just on the other side of this big 18-wheeler rig, and this rig is nothing but solid technology, computer bays, and well, I'll tell you what, let's go inside these swinging doors and we'll give you your first inside personal tour. Meanwhile, inside this technology center, as promised, it is solid technology. Take a look at one of the workstations for the crew chiefs. Now, every crew chief has one of these. We'll talk to one of them in just a minute and find out exactly what's involved. You've seen these before. These are printout of the onboard computers that all the nitro funny cars, top fuel dragsters, what have you do. This is a monitor camera. Wait, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's find out from the man himself. This is Austin Coyle over here. Austin, tell us a little bit about what you've got at this crew chief's workstation. Beginning up here with this, what is this, radar?
Yeah, that's a radar service from satellite service radar we're looking at right now. Shows all of the Ohio Valley. Looks like it's a good thing we're here in Norwalk, Ohio instead of in St. Louis. Looks like they got some thunderstorms over there.
Boy, they're getting hit pretty hard. And what do we have right down here?
Well, this is one of the computers that I use to have this spreadsheet formula, and I put in the facets of our tune-up, which is primarily the ambient air conditions, blower overdrive compression ratio. It tells me how much nitro to put in the motor for the conditions here tonight.
And then up here you can kind of watch the guys at work, huh?
Well, we have these onboard cameras here that are showing the pit area on both sides of the trailer, because from our workstation we really can't see that very good. Occasionally they switch to take a look at how much the crowd is stacking up out behind the trailer. Kind of gives us more eyes out there instead of just the computer screens in front of us.
All right, now each crew chief has one of these stations. Bernie Federley is right back there. He's working at his station. And if you look clear at the back, you'll see an autograph area and a souvenir sales area. And they also have TV monitors out there, right?
That's right. There are TV monitors out there that can be set up to show the fans actually even a picture of what we're doing inside the trailer, video clips from previous races, things of that nature.
Let's show the fans one more thing. If you'll follow me right over here, they have actually a working machine shop back in here. One of the guys are doing a little bit of work. You can see they have a lathe, a drill press, and what have you, where they can work on the actual parts that they use to build the car. And you wonder how John Force was able to go 323 miles an hour, the fastest speed ever, the history of drag racing, with a technology center like this. What's to wonder?
Back at the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire, night is coming. Right now, let's get back to the Nitro Funny Car pit areas and check in with Brett Kepner.
It may seem like a match race to some people, but for anybody else, at least on Whit Bazemore's team, this is your basic thrash. The motor's out of the car after that very first full quarter-mile run that actually I thought was mighty impressive. In this here, 532 boiling the tires like that, what happened?
Well, boiling the tires is what made the number 2 main go out. It puts uneven pressure on the engine, and it mixes cylinders up, and usually the end result is changing engines.
Well, obviously, like I said, you've got to develop some kind of data behind this brand new chassis. What did you learn on the first run?
We learned that this car will take quite a bit. We softened it up a little bit from our first little test run, and it barely made it that run. It was still hazing the tire leaving, and we'll try and soften it up a little more and try and fix down track so it doesn't spin the tires and hurt another engine.
Well, when you're dealing with 700 horsepower per cylinder, you can imagine what happens when one of them starts to get away. Now let's move over to the racetrack for Alki Funny Car action featuring the Wise guys, Scott Wise and his brother Brian, in 2 very different cars.
This is the first time that Brian has ever driven a funny car. It's the old alcohol supercharged funny car of Scott Wise. But look at Scott Wise pull away. He has the car that is injected on nitromethane, 617, 219 mile per hour. He put brother on the trailer, brother.
Now, am I mistaken, or is that the first time you two have ever raced each other?
No, it's not. We raced super gas cars back shooting 85 or 6 and really had a lot of good times together. And this was really neat to get out here and do it for Sherwin-Williams in a real hot rod.
I hate to break it to you, but you just pounded your bro there. 617 this thing went right out of the box.
So that's not bad. We thought the conditions would be kind of bad because that sun's been baking on the track all day, but Sherwin-Williams came through for us again.
Unbelievable. And hey, you've got a career going, my friend. Let's face it, once you get the hang of this could be domination by this family.
Just take some seat time to get going, and with the luck with Sherwin-Williams, we're real happy to be here.
Toby Ermintrout bought this car, incidentally, from Wayne Canoes, one of the sharpest crewmen in the business. He also bought the name, the Odyssey. He didn't, however, teach him not to red light. So the win will go to Dennis Roslansky, who left when the tree went green with a 542, 194 miles per hour.
Now to our next pair, Jack Dustman against Bill Mateo.
Mateo builds all of his own chassis, believe it or not, for these jet cars and has for about the past 15 years. The fastest man in jet dragster drag racing. You ask him how fast he'll go, he won't tell you. He'll just say over 300.
A great launch for Jack Dustman, a 449 light. Mateo left sleeping at the Christmas tree. Dustman all the way.
A big upset. Look at Dustman, just under 300 miles per hour.
Back at Norwalk Raceway Park, where the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire continues. The jet dragsters are in the staging lanes. First, let's go to Brett Kepner.
How can you tell this is a match race and not a national event? Because Dean Scusa's crew is thrashing away with a brand new motor between the frame rails after a loss. I mean, let's face it, the beauty of a match race is the fact that you got to go back out there again and take the knowledge that you got from the first round with you. But in your hand, I'm afraid to say, is damage.
Yeah, I mean, usually match racing's a little laid back, but not this time for us. We're trying out some new ball checks, and apparently they didn't work in number 5 here.
Now, for the novices out there, what in the world is a ball check?
Well, it's actually in the cylinder head. What it does...
Don't make me guess.
It restricts fuel. It's a check ball is what it is, or a ball check. We're trying a new material. They're supposed to seal a little bit better, but it actually sealed too good.
Apparently it didn't allow enough fuel to get in that cylinder.
Yeah, I think this thing was hurt on the burnout. As soon as I hit the gas, I mean, it was just like, I had that weak shake to it.
Now, can you take what you learned, even with the burn piston and everything else, and apply it for the next round and maybe get down the track without lighting them up so hard?
Yeah, we think so. I mean, that's the problem. When you burn a piston, you have to look back and say, how weak was it? I mean, we knew we were on the weak side of it, being conservative here to try to get down the track on the first run. Now, how much did this take away from the power? That's only a guess. I think we'll be all right. We're going to give it some more power, and we're not going to be too weak. Let's put it that way.
Hey, it's only Pedregon in the other lane.
Yeah, that's right.
Once again, 700 horsepower per cylinder in those Nitro Funny cars. Now back to the drag strip for Bill Mateo in round 3 of Jet Dragsters.
Now, this is actually the losers bracket. These are not the 2 winners. These are the 2 losers from the semifinal round.
Tony Ermintrout could not make the call. Look at the glow of that afterburner in the dark.
Bill Mateo, 514. Look at the speed. 308 miles per hour. That's why they call him the fastest man in the business. But here's the one that's for all the marbles. The Dustman brothers against Dennis Roslansky. The reason I said the Dustman brothers, James and Jack actually take turns driving this jet dragster.
Now, the Dustman engine is actually a fairly small jet engine, only about 6,000 horsepower. But it's enough to get the job done here.
Looks like the afterburner may have had a problem on Dustman's car. Let's go down to Brett Kepner and see if he knows more.
Nothing like winning in front of the hometown fans, buddy.
I like that a lot. The only bad thing about it is I think we started running out of fuel about 800 feet.
You did in a big way. I was going to say the starting line burner pop war is intense, right. But it costs you.
Right, it does. You got to get those cars as light as you can. This is really serious business anymore. These guys don't mess around. It's people like to say jet racing's not racing. This stuff it's war, buddy.
Well, I'll put it this way. Roslansky left on you. He had the better reaction time. You ran him down 530 to a 540. You were only at 278, so you were out of fuel, and it was only a couple of thousandths at the finish line.
I'll take that, though. That's good. That's good.
beat Matteo and Dennis Wislansky in one night. You deserve a handshake, my friend.
Good night. Good night. Right on. Thanks, Brett.
Well, if you're going to run out of fuel, better here than at 35,000 feet. There you see the Castrol crew getting ready. Nitro Funny Cars are next. Welcome back to the launch pad at Norwalk Raceway Park as the Sherwin-Williams Night Under Fire continues. Round 2 of Nitro Funny Car. Tony Pedregon in the black Castrol Syntec car going up against Dean Scusa in the Dodge.
Looks like problems right off the starting line, so it'll be an easy one for Pedregon. 530, 285 miles per hour as Scusa had to get out of it at about the 300-foot mark. May have had some tire shake there.
Now, earlier we saw Scusa in the Matco Tools car have mechanical problems. Couldn't get fuel to one of the cylinders. Something popped out of the right side headers, then out of the left. I wonder if it didn't happen to him again.
I think probably so. Meanwhile, look at Pedregon standing on it all the way down.
I'll tell you, to be able to come around and make this thing go down this track like that in just one run is impressive.
Well, that's the tricky part, but thanks to the crew chiefs, they've been doing their homework, and it's important for us to get down it because we want to give the fans a show.
You can hear them cheering up there right now for you.
Well, that's good. That's what we come here for. The fans are really what's important to us, and that we stay safe with these match races. But for Mac Tool and Syntec, the people that put this show on, we're happy to come out of here live, and I think we had a lot of fun.
530 at 285. Like I said, not bad for backing it down.
Not too bad. It was pretty soft, but again, we just wanted to get down there.
You did it.
Thanks, guys.
And now the climax of the evening in terms of competition as the fans hold their lighters on high. What a sight as we get set for the winner's bracket in Nitro Funny Car. John Force against Whit Bazemore.
Take a look at the pyrotechnics Bill Bader Jr. has employed here to drive this show home. The crowd really getting into it as they begin to build the excitement. And here he comes, the star of the hour, John Force.
He is famed for his smoky burnouts. Whit Bazemore doing a great job himself. Now they'll back up over those sticky strips of rubber for maximum traction and absolutely astonishing acceleration.
The track lighting has been turned off in the starting line area so you can see the flames, and that's part of it. John Force has broke his reverser or something. He's having a problem. He's doing something we haven't seen in years in drag racing because it's now illegal to do that if this were a national event. But this is not a national event. John Force is turning the car around, and he will drive it, folks, back up to the starting line because he has no reverser right now. They used to do this back in the match racing days. The NHRA outlawed it. The IHRA followed suit. But like we said, this is the night under fire. Anything may happen.
Well, as we've been saying all night, the idea is to put on a show, and these cars have a very good turning radius. He needs a lot of room to get that long wheelbase turned around, and he's got to do it quickly. These cars also do not have radiators, and these nitromethane burning machines heat up to the level of a furnace in no time at all.
He is not getting a grip on the track. Austin Coyle asking him right there to bark it or chirp the tires. Right now they're going to look underneath. He may make a last-minute adjustment. Those tires are probably cold, Bob. If the heat goes out of those drag slicks after that burnout, he'll go up in smoke. Right now, though, he's building so much heat in the engine, he has no choice but to stage the car and go. Remember, too, in a nitromethane engine, the longer it runs, the more heat it builds, the more horsepower it makes. He may well overpower the track.
John Force lives to put on a show. Oh, and Force has to get out of it. He overpowers the track immediately as Bazemore flies to the far end in a cloud of flame. 529 with a 270 miles an hour.
So Whit Bazemore will be our official winner of the 9 Under Fire Nitro Funny Car competition. Let's look at one more time what happened to John Force on the starting line. You can see, smoked him instantly.
A bizarre deal up there. I mean, let's face it. We haven't seen, even Whit Bazemore came up to you and said, you look like Jungle Jim up there.
I wasn't trying to be like Jungle Jim, trying to give the fans a show, and the reverser handle broke on the burnout. And I was waiting to see where he was at so I wouldn't get in trouble. I swung a U-turn, got back, but there was people on the start line looking the other direction. Thought I was going to run over him. I needed a horn and come around, and I had to drive through the glue box. I had no choice, and we whooped her once. I hope we didn't wound her, and it just got loose. That's all. Just trying to give him a raise.
But one thing's for sure, you gave him the John Force show. Unbelievable. You did it. That's all that matters. You pulled it off. Win light.
Well, yeah, it's exciting. I tell you, it was kind of fun seeing John do a Billy Meyer at Columbus, Ohio. I remember that, whenever that was, 1976 or something. But, yeah, that was exciting. And, the whole idea, we were waiting for him. We just want to give the fans a show here. And I tell you, the Team Winston guys and our new Camaro, we're pretty happy. It smoked the tires again, but we got around old Johnny. And that's, I tell you, and anytime you run for us, it doesn't matter if it's a match race at Norwalk, Huntsville, Alabama, wherever, or the final at the U.S. Nationals, it's the same to me.
And like I said, at 29 with a new car, that was impressive on this track.
That's good considering how bad the run was. We had to pedal it, and then we still smoked the tires and moved around quite a bit. We did such long burnouts. There was so much smoke down there still, even having to wait for John, that couldn't see a thing. But we're excited, and, it's fun. That's why we do it.
Just remember, that 1976 incident in Columbus, Ohio with Billy Meyer, you were taking pictures back then. This time you were living it, buddy.
I tell you what, that was before I was taking pictures.
Good job. What'd you rank? That's cool.
Stick with them for a minute.
I was like, look at this motherfucker. That's a little
Back at Norwalk Raceway Park, the competition may have been spectacular, but it's hard to hold a candle to what we're about to witness under dark of night. This is Ken Shockley with his triple jet engine GMC. Look at the fire out of those stacks for Ken Shockley. Remember, they're having a competition. They won't race each other. Bill Bader Jr. is trying to make that happen. Maybe next year. So they declare the competition will be who puts on the best fire show. Can you imagine these two guys side by side on the same drag strip?
That's exactly what Bill Bader Jr. wants to see happen. And believe me, if it happens, we'll try and be there and bring it to you. What a show! 3 jet engines propelling that GMC truck down the quarter mile. Les Shockley, ladies and gentlemen. What a cap, but if you think that was something, hang on, because as they said, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Now approaching runway 6. Headed for the Orient or parts beyond. 1 jet engine, but nobody does things with it like the man you're about to see, Bob Moats and his jet-powered Kenworth. If there was anything left of those signboards behind the launch pad, they are now toast.
This is what they call in this part of the country the Norwalk Experience. Look and enjoy. Is that not, Bob, without question, one of the greatest shows in all of drag racing? Look at that truck rock and the fire come out of those twin stacks. Used to be diesel fumes coming out of there.
Don't come knocking when this truck is rocking. Now up comes the thrust, down come the lights, and away she goes.
Now he has a lot of weight to move off the starting line, so the truck actually moves very slow, then gains speed in about the last 600 feet, and the pyrotechnics go off as Bob Moats hits the finish line. What a show this is, the Norwalk Experience.
It's been a great evening of drag racing, and we hope you've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm Bob Varsha for Ted Jones and Greg Kepner. Head out for a drag race near you and enjoy the show in person. Congratulations to Whit Bazemore and his victory over John Ford, still the king of the funny cars. Our thanks to the Bader family for putting on a great show here at Norwalk Raceway Park. So long, everyone.
Automotive products. It's a great track, great race. We're doing it. We got to work on Rebecca. The boss today, he beat everybody.
That is the weirdest. I said there we go.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Who will take our picture? That one? Okay. I took that one official out of there.
John.
Which people's around? Thanks, John. Can't read it, but it's me. How you doing? Hotel. Come here. Hey, Dad.
So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Shake, ain't she, bro?
Trouble right now is his vehicle being pushed off the starting line. For DeLuca down through the top end. Murray.
Automotive products, work our way back up here in the point. The boss today, he beat everybody. We got to let him go to get this race car off the track, Dave. What a show indeed. John Moore may be a little bit depressed, but as he said, considering where he came from to start the day, just the fact that he's in the finals is absolutely remarkable. John vaulted up into the number 4 spot.
I think the most common question that people ask me is he always like that, and I learned in time that he is, and in fact he's worse. Well, first of all, let me say about Tony Petterjohn, he's way too young and he's way too cute. And that's tough to monitor. I always thought, well, is it the coffee or is it maybe the beer that he drinks? But he's just like that. John, Tony Petterjohn.